just going to give everybody just a few more minutes to join us here. We're right on schedule, so just
hi everybody, by the way.
Yeah. We'll start. Hi, everyone. I hope you're excited about this trip to Alaska like we are. My name is Thea Lawrence. I'm the Director of Sales and Operations for Bon Voyage Travel. This is Tina Segovia, Travel Advisor and Alaska Expert for Alaska Cruise Sales, a subsidiary of Bon Voyage Travel. We will be your point of contact should you have any questions on the trip. You'll have our cell phone numbers. It'll be on your itinerary, and we'll also go over it at the end of the presentation. Now, I'd like to pass it over to Rocky LaRose, who really needs no introduction, as most of you know her already. After a successful career as the Director of Athletics, she now enjoys capturing spectacular images with her award-winning photography. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to Rocky, who will go over what we can all look forward to on our trip.
Oh, thank you, Thea. I got to tell you, I am getting so excited. I can't believe it's just a few weeks away finally after all this planning. So welcome, everybody. First of all, I just have to say, I could not have handpicked a more engaging, adventurous group than everybody who's coming on this trip. So I am so excited. I know it'll be fun. I know we're going to have new friendships and new connections, and probably some pretty lively conversations too, whether that's at happy hour or at dinner. So welcome, everybody. In fact, I thought, we all don't know each other. So I thought, why don't I give you all just a little tease about this group we have, because we have some really accomplished, incredible people that I'm so excited that are going to be joining us. We have Tucson connections. We have University of Arizona connections. We have Pac-12 connections and other conferences. We have people from all over the world, Switzerland, all over the US, from Minnesota, Michigan, Massachusetts, Florida, California, Washington. And I know I'm missing some, so this is just a tease. But we also have athletes from the U of A, from tennis, softball, field hockey, and a football player. You know who you are. We have equestrians, we have gardeners, we have travel writer who's been all over the world. We have people in real estate, we have faculty members and professors, accountants. Did I say a former mayor? How about that? Medicine, we have former firefighters and paramedics and golfers and a pro golf caddy, former pro golf caddy, and we have Pac-12 commissioners, head coaches. So there could be some really good discussions, especially if the NIL comes up. So Al, and the best part is we have a couple of youngins. Kaylee and Vidal, I'm calling you out right now. You're going to be the mascots of the trip, and we're so glad you're joining us. And I know this is your first trip to Alaska, so this is going to be awesome. And finally, I want to warn the group, we have some really creative ones in this group who I know are up to something. They're planning something. They're not sharing with me exactly what's going on, but I'm sure it'll be lots of fun. So anyway, again, I think this is just a real engaging group of people and who are just here for the experience. And I just love that. So two, I want to thank the Bon Voyage Travel staff, from Tom and Tina and Thea, and oh my goodness, Catherine, who just helped us set this up. What a group. I just came from just this little idea, and here we are doing it. So I want to thank them so much. And of course, Ryan Hansen and Peter Evans. It was the staff that worked with Seabourn to get us the special packages, all the extra goodies, and who pulled this trip together for us. And I have to say a personal thank you. I love that shipboard credit, especially that extra shipboard credit that they just got through Signature. Thank you guys so much for that. Special shout out also to Bon Voyage for arranging our exclusive private excursion the day that we get on the ship. This was just an idea. I wanted this trip to be about wildlife and landscape. And so that's what I threw out. I said, if we're going to have a private excursion, I would love to involve both wildlife and landscape. And they pulled it off. We're going to have a whale watching excursion, prime time for whales to be in Alaska. And not only that, the #1 spot that you can find whales in Alaska is Juneau. And we're going to be out there for 3 hours watching the whales, along with then the landscape of getting to see the Mendenhall Glacier. And hey, even a little box lunch at some point. So I want to thank you. Thank you, Tom, for setting that up. I'm really, really excited about that. And it'll give us a chance to all get to know one another a little bit. Quickly, I'm your host, but I want to make this really important note. This is your trip, so make it your trip. While we're a group, you're not required to do anything if you don't want to. Everything is voluntary. There's no expectations. I just hope you relax and enjoy the view, eat the good food, and build some memories for yourself and your friends and family. And, whatever we tried to do was just try to put a menu together of options, and you're free to choose, pick and choose whatever you want. So if you want to do every single excursion, that's me, then do it. But if you want to sit on your cabin porch with your included bottle of wine and watch the world go by and see the beautiful landscapes, do it. Honestly, no obligation whatsoever. Our only request is, if there's a problem of some sort, Seabourn has guest services. They're going to be excellent. You're going to have your own cabin butler to help. So, speak up if there's a situation that you're not particularly happy with. So why Alaska? First and foremost, Mike and I love Alaska. We've been there too many times to count. Mike's stepsister lives in Alaska. Everybody knows that bears are my spirit animal, and there's just so much to photograph and see, from landscapes to the wildlife. And I just wanted this to be a really true Alaskan experience, off the regular cruise route. And I want to thank Bon Voyage again for that. I said this is kind of what I wanted, and they brought to me multiple possibilities. And we looked at multiple cruise lines and opportunities. And we said, this is the one. This is the one that matches everything, that gives you a luxurious experience at the same time casual, that stops at smaller points. It's a smaller boat, so we can get into smaller fjords and ports and see things that are kind of off the beaten track, so to speak. And, while we'll stay away from the big tourist stops, there'll still be a couple. So if you like those t-shirts and those little doodads, you'll be able to buy those along the way too. So, but mostly this is going to be going to places that most people never get to see. And I know we have experienced travelers with us. So hopefully, again, this will be some new spots for you. And we have first-time Alaska travelers that this is just going to be awe-inspiring. I promise. So, most importantly, like I said, we're going to focus on the land and the wildlife. And, also remember the ship has a little bit of everything from spa to fitness to, just a little bit of everything, and good food. So, okay. I know some of you are interested in photography, right? As I am. And so I want you to know that I will be here to help throughout the whole trip. While there's nothing real formal, like no formal instruction, we're not going to hold a classroom, because we're here to see the beauty, but I will be there on the excursions. I'll be on the deck, and I am willing to help. I love to talk photography 24 hours. So whenever you have a question, let me know. And the only thing I ask is just, if the whale is breaching right then, don't interrupt me because I'll be shooting away. But any other time, come up to me, talk to me. And in fact, it would be helpful for me to know in advance, maybe your photography goals and what you would like to focus on or what you might like to learn. So that's it. I'm going to share real quick for you, just to hopefully keep us inspired and get excited about our trip. I thought I would share with you a few images. And so hold on here. I'm going to pull those up. And here we go. That I thought you might like to enjoy. Just give it a little taste of what hopefully we're going to be able to see. So first thing I wanted to share is this is my husband, Mike. And this was our very first trip to Alaska. And, like I said, now we've been back so many times we can't even count. But, we had such a wonderful time on this trip. And this is the first trip when I learned that he likes to hike. And so, yeah, this is him making me hike up to the top of the mountain. So, which was quite an experience, let me tell you. This is in Denali, actually. But Mike is a wonderful guy. Those of you that already know him, or those of you that are going to get to know him, just a quick background of Mike. He grew up with his family. His dad was a forest ranger, ended up being the district forest ranger out of New Mexico. And he and his brothers and sisters were born in little towns all throughout New Mexico. Mike was born in Taos. So he grew up in the backcountry, so to speak. He He then went on with his interest in watershed management and forestry as an undergrad at the University of Arizona, was student body president, and went to work for the Forest Service, but realized he wanted to do more in terms of environmental issues. So he went back to law school at the U of A and became a lawyer. Quit that, fortunately, he's a recovering lawyer, and went to work for the university in other capacities, from dean to what he finally ended up with, which was international, global international initiatives that he dealt with for the university as vice president. So Mike will be very engaging. In fact, those of you who know him, this is Mike. He is amazed at everything. So get ready. He loves the landscape. He loves the wildlife. He's just really in awe of Alaska. And I think he's going to be really fun to be on the trip here with all of us. So this is Juneau. So if you're flying into Juneau, you might want to get a window seat, because it is an amazing place to see from the sky, and to know that you can only get there by plane. Some of the landscapes we're going to see is going to vary, right? We're going to see some that are snow covered, and we're going to see tall mountains and fjords and clouds and sun and more snow and really unique landscapes. This is one of the more famous places that you can see in Alaska. We're going to see lots of green. We're going to see lots of flowers. There's volcanoes. More volcanoes. And yes, even though there's going to be sunlight for probably 20 some hours a day, there's still sunsets. So, and little tiny sunrises too. So watch out for those if you're still awake. This is Mendenhall Glacier, when Mike and I saw it back in the 1990s. So I'm anxious to see it again. I have not been there since the 1990s. So it's going to be new for us too, but I'm anxious to see it. And this is obviously before my photographic skills got a little better. But, as we're driving along, we're going to see other glaciers, just beautiful, beautiful glaciers. All sorts of different ways to look at them. When you're photographing, make sure you look into the details of these glaciers and use your binoculars to see, because some of the formations are just out of this world. I love zooming in on glaciers and that blue color and seeing that in our lens. And always be watching for the calving. It's amazing. You're going to hear it probably before you see it. So make sure you're looking out for that, because that will happen. And then, I've also said I wanted a trip that included the Misty Fjords. So this is Mike and I on our first trip to the Misty Fjords. We absolutely fell in love with this place. I mean, it is stunning. The sheer cliffs and just the scenery. And it's just, when we landed here on a float plane, and, I know some of us are going to be taking Zodiacs in or kayaking in. The walls produce just this silence that you can't believe. I mean, I thought it was so quiet. It was just beautiful. It was just such an incredible sensation. So I'm really excited that one of the port stops is going to be the Misty Fjords. And again, these are pictures I took back in the 90s of this just stunning area that's just too hard to describe. It truly is. You all know I love wildlife. Well, this is my first wildlife encounter in Alaska. That is moose poop right there. And I was so excited because I thought, well, if that's there, we're for sure going to see a moose somewhere along the line. And sure enough, we did. So you just never know what we might encounter, right? The killer whales, I know we're going to see those. The orcas, that's a baby right there. It was sort of breaching out. This was on my last trip last summer. Hopefully we'll see lots of the whales showing their flukes, which will be really fun. This was my first humpback whale picture I ever took back in the 1990s that was breaching out of the water. And you can tell the weather was a little sketchy that day. So we're going to talk about that too as well, to how you can prepare for that. This is an orca. This is when you goof up and you call it fine art, but I love it. Actually, I love this picture because it shows the motion of the orca jumping out of the water. You're going to see seals. Oh my goodness. So you're always going to want to be on deck watching for the wildlife that we might encounter along the way. Seals on rocks, seals on ice, otters are floating around everywhere. And there's the moose. We actually saw a moose. So we'll keep our eyes out for that. And I know the one we want to see is the bear. And I hope we do, because it's prime time for bears and salmon and the bears being out. So this we probably will not happen standing next to the bears. But this too, I took a couple summers ago. It was an amazing experience. This mama bear here, even though we could not see him, a boar was approaching, a male bear was approaching, and they can be a danger to the cubs. So she was on high alert here, and quickly after this picture, they all took off running, and she put the little ones up a tree so to save them from the male bear. So it was quite an adventure. I thought I would point out, so when we do see bears, that this is a first-year cub. And the cute thing about first-year cubs is they have milk collars. So see that little white collar around them, and they keep that for most of the first year, which is really cute. And they have dark fur. And then when they hit about 2 years old, their fur turns this just wonderful golden color. So those are 2-year-old cubs there. This is why you want to keep your binoculars out when you're on deck, because as we're sailing along, this was a couple bears that we saw on our first cruise in Alaska. And you always want to be prepared because you never know what you might see. Puffins. Okay, that's Mike's and my joke, puffins, because we had been to Alaska probably 6 times and never saw a puffin, except for this one right here, this big stuffed one that was in Anchorage, Alaska. But eventually I finally saw a puffin, and now I know what to look for. So we're going to be looking for those too on our cruise. Here's one in the water, and here's one walking on water as he takes off. They are amazing little critters, and I really am excited to see them again. But all in all, again, I want to point out that sometimes the best thing to do is just get up on that observation deck, get your binoculars out, and watch the world go by. I really hope we will be doing that a lot, actually. So here are my excursions. If you want to take a screenshot of that, or I think it's been sent out to all of you, but welcome to join me and Mike. We're going to be on all of these and pick them for all different reasons, but certainly wanted to get close to the glacier, wanted to see the bears. Of course, the Misty Fjords, which I told you is one of our favorite places on Earth. So I look forward to that, and I hope we see you on a lot of the excursions. Okay, I'm going to talk photography real quick. I know not everybody on this trip is into photography, but if you are, like I said, I'm happy to talk. Let's talk. So I have to put this up here because warning, I may snap at any time. I'll be snapping all the time, just so you know. And I also want to put the warning in that, photography teaches you to look for beauty and to frame everything up. And once you start doing that, you can't stop. It's an obsession, and I can vouch for that. So I love photography. And like I said, I'll talk about it anytime. So one of the reasons why I love it is, we've been fortunate to travel around the world, and photography is the only language that can be understood anywhere in the world, regardless what language you speak. So, and of course, it's our memories. It's the memories of our lives. So I love being present. It's sort of my meditation, to be honest with you, to be out there with a camera and to just see all the beauty that's in front of me. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited being in Alaska, one of our most favorite places in the world. So what am I bringing? I'm going to bring 2 mirrorless cameras, 2 Canons. One's going to have a 24-105 lens, so a wide angle lens, and one with a 100-500 lens on. And I'm also bringing my iPhone 14. It's awesome. And I just want to tell you right now, I'm going to admit it, I've had several of my iPhone photos published in magazines. So we have to give full credit to the iPhone. In fact, I find myself using it a lot for landscapes. Not real good for wildlife that's moving or in particularly dark areas, but for landscapes, it's stunning. It does a great job. And if you're not going to blow it up, wall size, it's fine. It's perfect. And it's great for social media for sure. So those are the only 2 things I'm bringing. I'm not bringing any other cameras or lenses along. I'm not bringing a tripod. You're certainly welcome to. If you go on an excursion where you're on the land and you want to use your tripod, bring it. But tripods are not very effective on a boat, on a ship that's moving. And I find it kind of gets in my way, to be honest with you, especially with wildlife, because you're going to be moving around following the wildlife, and a tripod, just by the time you move, the critter is gone or has moved to a different location. So that's what I'm bringing. And things we can work on throughout the trip. I want to make sure if you're using your iPhone that you use all of your camera modes, from landscape and portrait to macro to HDR, burst mode for those critters, pano shots, of course. Oh, the panos are going to be beautiful in Alaska. And video, don't forget your video on your iPhone, especially around the critters, because that can show, lots of activity and the habits that the critters are in. By the way, my 2 goals for this trip is to get humpback whales bubble feeding. I've never gotten that, so I'm really looking forward to hopefully seeking that out and finding that, hopefully on our whale trip. And then my other one, of course, is a puffin with fish in its mouth. I've just never gotten a puffin that's actually eating. So that'll be another one of my goals. And of course, the other thing you want to work on with photography, once you get down the basics, is we want to work on exposure, composition, lighting, emotion, getting the right moment, and humor, because that's what makes a photo come to life and what lets you tell the story. So those are all things I hope to work on and work with you if you're interested. And real quick, just have to end on this one. Fortunate to go to Alaska with Mike Kendrea and his wife Tina, and we were all fishing along the Kenai River and catching salmon. And this is the fish that Mike caught. And when I say humor with photography, this is one little trick I want to tell you about. So Mike never caught a salmon, and he caught this fish. And this fish is honestly maybe 2 inches big. It is teeny little fish. But look what you can do with the perspective on your iPhone. You get him to hold that up close to the phone and it looks like a gigantic fish. So I made him feel better that he actually caught something that was worthwhile. So we'll have some fun too, you guys, fun with our photography. So here's my contact information. I would love to know what your photographic interest might be, or what you particularly want to focus on. So either email me or text me. You're welcome to text me in advance and let me know. And if you don't get around to it, that's okay too, because we're going to have lots of time when we get there to talk about this. So thank you all. Again, I'm so excited. And now we get to the meat of things, the logistics, questions and answers. So Tina, back to you. Whoops. Tina, you're muted, so I'm gonna have to, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Roxanne. Yeah,
You're welcome.
I was talking to all of you. Sorry. My goal is to just kind of go through some of the questions that came in, let people know that Thea and I are here now, before the cruise, during the cruise, with whatever you need. So if anybody has any questions they want to ask, there is a Q&A box, and Rocky and I'll try and watch that and grab those if any of those come in. But I was just going to share my screen here. Just kind of talking a little bit about some of the things that came in. You all should have gotten an email last Friday on the 21st from Seabourn, and there was a lot of good information on it. So some of these screenshots are from that. And so the first thing is, I want to remind everybody to make sure that you have ordered your Seabourn jacket. It's Alaska and it's going to be waterproof. And we all are going to need a waterproof jacket. So that's super important. So just make sure you've done that. So if you didn't get that email, let me know. I can forward it to you. If all of you have added your personal information, your passport information onto the Seabourn website, hopefully you all have registered, right? I'm sure you have. Thea and I can print out all of your documents. If you're in Tucson, please, you can stop by the office. Let me know you're coming. I'll have them all ready for you. If you do live out of town, not in Tucson, I'm happy to put them in the mail for you. Okay, so I'm happy to print out all of your documents. If you do not want everything printed, you can see everything on the seaborn.com website. You can also download the Seaborn Cruise app onto your phone. It's nice because it gives you all of the updates. It gives you your boarding pass. You can book shore excursions. You can do spa appointments directly for that. Okay. The other thing to remember, I've had a few questions, is please, the number one thing you need your passport. Please make sure you have your passport packed, ready, keep it in your carry-on. Do not put it in check bags, definitely important. Make sure if you think you might need a visa, if anybody is not a US citizen, you can check their website, contact me, and we can kind of go through that, okay? In that email, there was also what to pack, and it's also on the website. There's nice little Alaska packing tips. I just kind of copied and pasted some of them. A few people asked about the dress code and if you need to be dressy. First of all, it is Seaborn, so it is more of a country club casual atmosphere, but it's also Alaska, and people have a tendency not to dress up a whole lot. But during the daytime, you can wear shorts if it's nice enough. You can wear jeans, you can wear leggings, all of that stuff. They asked, of course, for no swimsuits. If you're going to work out, of course, there is the fitness center there, so bring your workout clothes. Anything after 6 p.m., they call it elegant casual. So men's slacks with a collared dress shirt. You can bring polo shirts, but also I would bring a long sleeve dress shirt for men. Thomas Keller Grill is probably the most dressy, and I'm going to leave that as a jacket is optional. Okay. I don't believe you're going to need a tuxedo. It is Alaska. I don't think you're going to need any super formal wear. I think for women, slacks, a skirt. I'm not really a dress person, but if you want to bring a dress, you can. Any type of nice blouse for dinner. Jeans are not appropriate in the restaurant after 6 p.m. So just something kind of to think about too. Okay. And all of this information that I'm sharing with you is on the website. Okay. As far as Alaska and some of the extra clothing that you'll need, the big thing to remember is it's Alaska. It's cold in the mornings. It's chilly. It's definitely temperature controlled on the boat. The minute you step off the boat, it can be chilly. If you're on the Zodiacs, if you're on the catamaran, going on your tour with Rocky and Mike, you're definitely going to need a waterproof jacket, something warm, something of that sort. So I would say always bring layers, short sleeve, long sleeve. I know it's August, but I will probably bring a hat. I will bring gloves. I don't know about a scarf. Definitely need some hiking boots, some trail shoes. I would say anything that's waterproof pants maybe. Rocky and I were kind of talking about maybe needing mud boots when you get out of the Zodiac, but then she just said maybe some hiking boots, something that's waterproof, some trail shoes, definitely non-slip items. I know she spoke about binoculars. Super important. Do you have a pair of binoculars?
Tina, can I jump in there real quick about clothing?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I have a good suggestion. Yeah, I don't think we're going to need mud boots because we saw on Seaborn that they provide planks to get into the Zodiacs, or you go directly off the boat. So I think we're good there, but I would highly recommend waterproof hiking boots because those will be non-slip, and you just never know when the rain might break out. And I think the quote to keep in mind is there's no bad weather. There's just bad clothing choices. So yes, I am bringing rain pants too, because I don't want to be on a Zodiac and have it break out in rain. That way I'll have my rain jacket, my rain pants, my waterproof boots on, and I'll be able to enjoy the ride.
Perfect. Thank you, Rocky. That's true. What about ponchos? You think ponchos are a good idea?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
ponchos will work. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything waterproof. If I believe the more you're prepared for the rain, the less it rains.
That's
So-
right. And most of the excursions say they will go rain or shine.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the same thing with any trip, you guys, your carry-on bag with your change of clothes in case your luggage would get lost. Always chargers, your cell phones. We don't really need any vaccination requirements or anything anymore. Batteries, those of you that are photographers, your camera equipment, your batteries, your chargers, your memory cards, all of that. Please make sure you take that in your carry-on, not in your check bag, okay? All of your passports, all of your documents should always be on your carry-on. I'm just gonna kind of go through this. It's just normal clothing for packing for trips for Alaska. Swimwear, if you want to go in the hot tub, there's a few hot tubs on the ship. The spa, there's some great things in the spa area, okay? One of the questions that came up was about the laundry services. There is a self-serve laundrette. It is on deck 5 of the Odyssey, and it is complimentary. They have washers, dryers, they have laundry soap. I believe they would also have irons. We just have to ask them on that. There's also your cabin steward, your suite attendant can also take your laundry for you. They ask that you have it in by 9. A lot of times you can get it back by 6 or early the next morning. So just in case you do need laundry services, okay? A few other questions that came through: cash versus credit cards. You're always going to use your credit card on the ship. It's going to be tied to your account. Do you need cash? Absolutely. Your gratuities on Seabourn are all taken care of. It is part of your cruise fare. So you do not need to tip anyone. If you have great service, I always like to add, if you do have great service, you can always tip more if you want to. If you're on the excursions and you have great service, you can definitely throw a little bit of a tip out there for them. It's always a nice gesture. It is never required, you guys, never, never. Okay, I had a million questions about the weather. I live in Tucson, so it's hot. So looking at the weather, mostly Alaska in August is mid to high 60s. There's always a chance of rain, just depending where you are. My suggestion is to start checking a weather app. The Weather Channel can sign up for notifications, just so you know what it's going to look like, so you can pack appropriately. But I would say mostly the mid 60s. Those of us that are in this hot weather are really looking forward to that, to the cool weather. Another question that came through was, are we going to miss anything with the pre-cruise cocktail party? Well, we have changed it. We are not going to do a cocktail party because a lot of people are getting in late. So we want to make sure that everybody has ample time to meet Rocky in the morning. So I sent out an access itinerary for everybody. It came through with an invite, and I got a few questions about, is it spam? No, it's not spam, but it is an itinerary, and it is kind of some of the things to expect besides the regular Seabourn cruise itinerary. So we are going to do a breakfast on the morning the cruise departs on Friday, the 18th of August. We are going to meet in the lobby in the restaurant for a breakfast, a meet and greet with Rocky. So that way you can all meet her, chat with her, all that good stuff. And then after breakfast, we are going to have you check out at the hotel. The hotel will take all of your luggage. They are going to store it for us. And then we are going to be on the bus. The bus leaves at 9. Okay, so we are going to be on the bus ready to go. Our whale watching tour and our Mendenhall Glacier tour, as Rocky mentioned, will be picking us up at the hotel at 9 o'clock. The other
And
thing
Tina, I want to add there real quick, because we have
Yes.
so many athletic people that are coming on this trip. Either they worked athletics or they were an athlete. This is the quote that we tell all of our athletes: if you're on time, you're late. So just remember that the bus leaves at 9. and you're
Perfect.
on it.
Perfect. Thank you, Rocky. Yeah, thanks for that. And I think, you know, if people want to come down early, I don't know how early you get up, Rocky. I think breakfast is open at 6:30. I mean, so if people are early birds, the sun does rise, let's see, 4:30 in the morning generally is sunrise. So if any of you like to get up early, I think breakfast starts around 6:30 and we'll double check that. But let's see what else is going on. So they're going to take us whale watching. We will have lunch. We do have some box lunches that we'll bring with us. We should be having those sometime during the day. And then when we come back to the hotel, you'll probably have, I'm going to say 30 to 40 minutes, maybe more, maybe a little bit less, to grab your stuff, your suitcases, everything. And then around 3 o'clock, 3:15, we will be picked up by Seabourn. They are going to pick us up at the hotel and they are going to take us to the ship. And it's seriously about a half mile from the ship. Okay. Oh, one thing I want to mention about the airport, when you get in, transfers are not included. And the hotel does not have a shuttle. So there's Uber, there are taxis right outside the main door. It's not a very big airport. It's not a big city, population wise. So you should be able to catch that pretty easily. And it's 10 minutes, about 8 miles at the most from the airport to the hotel. Okay. Let's see here. And then on the last night of the cruise, we are going to have our cocktail party with Rocky there. Hopefully we'll be sharing lots of fun stories, all the amazing wildlife we've seen and the scenery. We're going to share some photos. So we will let you know the exact time and the location as we get on there. On your itinerary, you're also going to see every other night, Thea and I have added an optional dining as a group in the main dining room. With that being said, you do not need reservations for dinner. I know that was also a question. The only restaurant you do need reservations for is the Thomas Keller Grill. And those, if you don't have one already, you can do it on the ship. Okay. They will definitely assist you with that. Everybody gets at least one chance to eat at Thomas Keller, and it's amazing. Really good. Let's see here. What else? Am I missing anything else with the morning, Rocky? I think we're good on that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So we're good on that. Luggage tags. With printing out your luggage tags, bring them with you. Thea and I will help put them on your suitcase. You're going to put them on the morning of the day of the cruise departure for embarkation. Before we head to the ship, everybody's going to have them on their suitcases. So we're going to check in our bags at the pier and they will deliver them to your room. Okay, so you can take your carry-on with you, a small bag, your purse, all that stuff. You do need to check in your big suitcase. So Thea and I will help you with these. We are going to bring some clear luggage tags and they easily will be placed on your suitcase with your name tag inside. So we will help you with those. Okay. Please make sure that Thea and myself, you can email them to me. Make sure I have your cell phone, who's ever in your cabin with you. I know some of you, I've only talked to you and not to your partners or friends that are going. So anybody that, if I can have your cell phone, your best email, so that way we can communicate any last minute items, any issues that come up and any fun that we're going to have. Okay. While we are on our trip, I have posted my cell phone and I have posted Thea's cell phone. Okay. While I'm working, I prefer you to use my work phone, but these are for our trip. And please feel free. You can call us, you can text us. We can even maybe set up something with WhatsApp. That way it'll help our Switzerland friends. So that might help her a little bit too. And I think that's all I have right now. Rocky, can you think of anything else you want to add?
No, I'll just go back to that Access app that you sent everybody.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I put that on my phone and it is
Okay.
awesome, you guys. It shows your schedule from beginning to end and any
Okay.
changes. I think, Tina, you'll be able to update any changes
Yes.
on that, right? So
Absolutely.
And I know there's a Seaborn app also that you can upload that will share the entertainment and other stuff that's going on board on the ship. But I highly recommend you get that access. I too wondered if it was spam.
Spam. I was sending you spam.
So, but I did it and I love it. So thank you,
Okay.
Tina, for providing that for everybody.
You got it. And I'll get my phone number on there. I'll get Thea's phone number on there. So that'll be on the itinerary as well. We've been kind of doing some updates on it. A couple things, a few questions that came through. Do American citizens need a visa for Canada? You do not. You do not need a visa for Canada. You just need your passports. Okay. Does Seaborn provide trekking poles? Not that I'm aware of. You would have to bring your own. I don't think, Thea, do you know? No? Okay.
We can find out.
I can double check on that one. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to say I don't think so, because that is one of the items that they do suggest you pack, but I will double check on the trekking poles and let you know. And then another guest asked, when will we get the recording of this webinar? Well, I don't know. That's a really good question. I'd say
Tomorrow.
probably, yeah.
Yeah, Tina, actually, we said, yeah, we'll get it out
Oh,
tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So that will be tomorrow. You will all receive a recording of this. If there's no more questions, remember, all of you can email, you can call me. I will do my best to answer your questions. Thea and I look forward to meeting all of you in person, and I really appreciate your time, everybody. So thank you so much.
Yep. And I just
Anything
want to
else?
say, I just want to say too, I'm getting so excited now as we get closer and closer to this. So thank you, everybody. We're going to have an incredible trip with lots of fun memories and lots of things to talk about. So thank you, everybody. We will see you in less than 3 weeks. Get ready.
Woohoo!
Bye,
Thank you,
guys.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.